Vanessa, Lamaro, Naturopath here. Look, I just wanted to put a little bit of a word out around immune function because I'm seeing a lot of patients in clinic at the moment who are either sick themselves or have family members that are sick, and their workplaces are all sick, and their schools, daycare, everyone's reinfecting each other. And it seems to be, this time of year, it's a really common thing, of course, but it affects us with productivity and affects our health. So there are some different strategies we can use on a daily basis that can really help us to improve our immune function and protect us from falling sick from, the viruses that are going around. So first one is kind of a bit of a difficult one for some people, but getting adequate sleep and adequate rest and really managing our stress levels is super important, because when we have elevated cortisol over a longer period of time, it can really reduce our immune capacity and make us more susceptible to falling sick. So making sure that you're getting at least 7 to 9 hours sleep a night, and making sure that you're allowing yourself some rest time, even if it's just on the weekends, and also making sure that you're doing some strategies to deal with any stresses in your life. Number 2 would be to increase your sun exposure. So safely, of course, but we live in a place where we do get sunshine in the wintertime, so we're pretty lucky like that. But in wintertime, our vitamin D levels do drop down. So getting that daily sun exposure, if you can nude up a little bit at home and just get 10 minutes either side, it can be a really great way to boost your vitamin D levels. It's great for our circadian rhythms too, just to be exposed to sunlight, and to be in the fresh air, of course, is so fantastic. If you can fit it in as well, do some grounding, make sure you touch the sand or the water or the grass or wherever you are. It's really great for our bodies to be in connection with nature as well. Number 3, looking at food a little bit, medicinal mushrooms. So we've got lots of sort of gourmet mushrooms available now in supermarkets and in grocery stores, and they look fancy, they taste delicious, and you can add those to your meals. And we use as herbal tonics, for instance, like reishi. We use herbal tonics to help build immune function and to increase, they're really adaptogens. They help our body to deal with stress, but also increase immune function. So we can eat those foods as well. So looking for different types of mushrooms is a really great way to improve your immune health. Another thing that I use regularly on a daily basis is essential oils. So essential oils, they've become really popular. I've been using them for decades, but most essential oils have quite broad antimicrobial activity, and many have antiviral activity. So I start my day by putting essential oils in a carrier oil on as a moisturizer. And then I've got an essential oil vaporizer in my office and at home, and then I also use a spritzer to cleanse the air even between appointments. So that's a good way to, it smells great, adds ambience, but it's also quite protective against any germs or any viruses that we're being exposed to in our day-to-day life. And there are also many essential oils that improve immune function. So another one, number 5, eating raw garlic. It's good for not just warding off vampires, it's also good for warding off colds and flu. So it's highly antimicrobial, but also if you've had a cold or flu and you feel like you're still a bit mucousy, the compounds in raw garlic help us to, they're called mucolytics, so they help to break down mucus and make it more liquid, so it's easier to expel. So that's for upper respiratory and chest issues as well. So raw garlic's awesome, tastes great in dips. I add it to salad dressings, and it's obviously you want it to be taste okay. I mean, it's beautiful in guacamole, but adding parsley is a great way to reduce the odour issues. So when you add a lot of parsley, which goes really nicely with the flavour, it can really reduce any kind of issues with bad breath. So probiotic foods is another food that I want to talk about. So if you eat dairy, looking at things like kefir or properly cultured yogurt, The types of bacteria that are involved in that process have been shown to improve immune function. But if you don't do dairy, then you could look at, you know, coconut-based products, or also like cultured vegetables will have a similar effect. So using foods, and also things like sauerkraut, high in vitamin C and lots of B vitamins, but you know, obviously the vitamin C content's going to be really great for supporting immune function as well. So yeah, getting some probiotic foods in your diet, and especially if you've taken antibiotics, it's a must do. So we need to start to build up that microbiome, and it's not only just providing more it's not just providing more good bacteria. The effect that the good bacteria have on our immune system in our gut is what stimulates that immune function. So that's sort of one of the mechanisms in which probiotics help with immune function, is actually the immune function's response to the bacteria. So yeah, it's a really great thing to have in the diet, and you know, obviously probiotic supplements have their place, but the foods are great to be using on a daily basis. Another thing I want to talk to you about is warming foods, and specifically bone broth. At this time of year, you know, we feel like having more warming foods, and they are good for us to sort of nurture us and nourish us. But bone broth's a really great one for immune function and for convalescence. So when we're getting over a sickness, having soups and having broths is a fantastic remedy. And they're high in minerals that support the immune system, and also high in the amino acids that support the immune system. So big fan of those. And think also, you know, obviously warm foods, but also warming foods such as like fresh ginger, chili, Indian spices, you know, using these in our meals to really nourish us and warm us. And probably one of the last things that with so many different things we can do for immune function. Like I could go on and on. I've got all these different ideas, but I'll cut it at that. But obviously using preventative medicine. So personally, I use a herbal tonic every day at the moment, which is an immune boosting tonic that has some different herbs in it that help my body to preventing my body from falling sick. And I highly recommend them for people if they have a tendency to have lowered immunity in the wintertime. There's also some particular nutritionals that I love to use for helping to bolster that immunity and prevent getting sick. Then if you do get sick, if you've got a cold or a flu, or you're recovering and sort of have some ongoing mucus issues or infection, like secondary bacterial infection issues, we can definitely work on that with herbal medicine and nutritional medicine. We've got so many beautiful tools, and I'm going through a lot of them at the moment in my clinic because of the amount of people that are coming in unwell. But I just wanted to let you know that those services are available if you need them, and make sure you're doing things on a daily basis in your own life to really maximize your own immunity, and so you can thrive this winter rather than being unwell. So wishing you a very happy and healthy winter.